John Gresham. He joins us now from just outside the nation's capital. How's it going?
Not bad, Bud. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty well. You've got the start of the NFL preseason and already injuries to your Redskins. But we're going to skip over that, and we're going to skip over broken jaws and Cam Newton getting in a fight at camp. And we're going to start with the other dominant story going on right now.
That would be the USC Trojans at the top of the Pac-10 ratings.
That would be Hillary Clinton and her email issues.
Oh, yeah, her. Yeah, well, she had a bad day yesterday.
So she's turning over this server, this private email server. How much? But there's the hard drive with it. What do we know exactly that she's turning over, and what can be gleaned from what she has turned over? At least what we know.
Okay, her lawyer has turned over, because it happened last night, turned over a thumb drive with all of the so-called work-related emails that she went through and said, oh, yeah, these are work-related. I'll go ahead and give them to the State Department. But there's also the server, which was allegedly wiped. Well, except that it's been sitting there, and unless they've wiped it using certain special software from Norton, then there's a possibility the FBI...
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that anybody could wipe their software with something they buy online, that they don't need anything high level to keep the government out of there? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you that if you have the good sense to know which software to use, yes.
It would seem like that Norton would be something that our government could crack, but I guess not. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Not if they use the wipe command, which basically writes over the entire platter of the disk some dozens of times.
Okay.
The NSA uses this to go and wipe their servers when they are recycling drives.
It just struck me as funny, John, for some reason.
I only speak the truth. You know I have no sense of humor.
Yes, exactly. My apologies for interrupting. You were saying.
Yes. So the thing of it is, if all they did was just erase everything and then hand the drive over to the lawyer, there's a pretty good chance our friends at the FBI Cybercrimes Unit may be able to recover the entire drive.
All right. So there was a report earlier that there were a couple of highly sensitive emails on this drive. I think CNN or CBS might have been reporting that earlier this morning. I've not seen it anywhere else. I heard it. I didn't read it. Still, one email, she's in big trouble.
One is all it takes. And in this particular case, there are 33,000 that she turned over. Now, the Inspector General for the intelligence community went and randomly selected 40. And of those 40 emails, 5 had classified information of one kind of another on it, and 2 had material that was classified top secret, special compartmented information, no foreign access, and several other designations indicating it was derived from NSA signals intelligence and possibly satellite signals intelligence. Now, just for the record, this is one step and only one step below the highest classification in the U.S. government, something we call Yankee White. And this is those 2 emails alone, the 2 that had that TSSCI information on it, release of them or improper handling of them is a felony. Now, this is 5 out of 40 that were randomly selected. There's 33,000 more. What do you think the chances are statistically there's going to be more classified information down there? And what do you think the chances are the Chinese, the Russians, and any number of other foreign nations hacked into her server when they realized she was stupid enough to go and keep this on a private server? I'm going to say that if this was you or me, we'd be looking at the inside of a jail cell for quite a few years.
Yeah.
For her, she'll probably serve time on parole and do community service because that she's Hillary Clinton. I don't expect the federal government to go and give her the treatment that anybody else would get, but who knows?
So we'll wait and see on that. I wanted to ask you.
I will add she completely lied when she said she never had classified information in any of her emails, sending, receiving, or stored.
That alone, though, should land her in some real hot water, should it not?
Yes.
Regardless of whether they find anything. I mean, or if they find just one. I mean, the lying part of it in some degree. I mean, I guess one.
The term is technically obstruction of justice.
Yeah. If she does, I mean, that alone should have already landed her in hot water, right?
Yes, but she's Hillary Clinton, and the Clintons don't live by the same set of laws we do.
You wanted to talk about this EPA major miscue out in Colorado. Why?
Well, one, because it's one of the two worst environmental disasters in American history. 2 wild rivers in just a week have been destroyed, completely destroyed.
And they will be dead, if you will, for at least 10 years, if not more, right?
10 years plus is the estimate. 3 million gallons of heavy metal toxic sludge were accidentally released from a coffer dam up at a mine near Silverton, Colorado. And these 3 million gallons, which included such favorites as arsenic, cadmium, etc., are now flowing through those rivers. They have pretty much killed God knows how much fish and wildlife along the way. And they are now headed into the Colorado River Basin, where they are going to pollute the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon, Lake Powell, Lake Mead, and the All-America Canal, which supplies water, drinking water for San Diego, Orange County, Camp Pendleton, and Los Angeles, as well as Phoenix and Las Vegas.
So now the Army Corps of Engineers have been called in.
Well, EPA has done some preliminary work to shore up the coffer dam, thank goodness. So it's not leaking anymore, but someone's going to have to figure a way.
So that's who will be called in more than likely.
More than likely, the Corps of Engineers will be called in to dredge the sludge and hopefully process it and get the heavy metals out. And at the same time, we'll see what the determination is. But one thing's for certain, we're looking at a disaster.
Is Gina McCarthy in any trouble here?
She ought to be.
The EPA administrator, she in hot water here or not?
Yeah, she really ought to be. And yes, they waited until yesterday to say, "Oh, we're monitoring the situation. We're sorry."
So,
and she's headed out to the site to go and take a walking tour to let her face be seen.
Right.
But quite frankly, Ms. McCarthy has done enough damage. I think that she needs to be brutally fired and made an example of what not to be as a responsible bureaucrat in any government.
John Gresham with us. It was a rough night near Okinawa last night.
Oh, it was a rough night at sea a couple of places. Last night, an Army Black Hawk helicopter was practicing some work over a Navy supply ship, the Red Cloud, when something happened and they had to make a crash landing onto the ship. Give great kudos to the pilot who went and managed to put the Black Hawk down despite the problem on the bow of the ship between 2 sets of cargo containers. And while all 7 aboard were injured, some seriously injured, nobody died, and they're all being treated at the military hospital at Kadena Air Force Base on Okinawa.
Very quickly here, hot night aboard the USS Truman.
Yeah, the Truman was doing flight operations off the coast in the Atlantic here, not so far away. And while they were getting ready to launch an F-18, it caught fire, injured 2 of the deck crewmen, who are doing all right. They're in hospital, but it caused the pilot, who was already in the cockpit, all strapped in, to have to eject, and he apparently was recovered safely as well. Like I said, there's going to be some safety investigations out on these ships.
John, last thing, the WTI and Brent prices have stabilized, but pretty low.
Yeah, they're. WTI is sitting right in the 43 range. Brent's at 49. You're probably going to see them float around within a couple of dollars of those numbers for at least the next month or two. What we're waiting for is to see what happens with the Iran nuclear deal, because one of the things that the Iranians get from that package, and will probably get, it allows them to start selling oil again. And when they come on the market again and start flooding with their initial glut of oil they've got sitting offshore in tankers, as well as what they've got in storage on dry land, you're going to probably see oil prices take a drop that could be as much as $10 a barrel more, and we could be down in the low 30s by Thanksgiving.
John Gresham, best-selling author, military historian, with us here. John, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, if not sooner. Take care.
You too.